A long time ago, the world faced a crisis. Jails were overflowing, and keeping criminals locked up wasn't cutting it. So, in a bold move, the world's leaders decided to send criminals to an isolated island. It wasn't just any island, though. This was raw survival with no rules and no infrastructure. The only thing they got? A pillow. You might be thinking, a pillow? Seriously? But don't get too comfortable, pun intended, because these pillows weren't for napping. They were the ultimate weapon of survival. So instead of criminals sitting in a cold cell, they'd be battling it out with pillows. The catch? No one knew the real purpose of these pillows at first. But it wasn't just the survival of the fittest. It was a battle of dominance. And guess what? The pillow wars were just getting started. The Island of Trials. Jard, a man whose life was turned upside down by a crime of passion. He caught his girlfriend cheating and, well, things got messy, was sent to the island. What he didn't expect was that this pillow fight was far from the sleepover games he remembered as a kid. His first day was chaos. The island was deserted, save for a bunch of criminals, murderers, thieves, and a guy who allegedly stole an entire car dealership. Don't ask how. Jard thought he'd be okay. After all, how bad could things be with a pillow? That's when the first fight broke out. A massive guy, clearly not aware of the pillow etiquette, charged at Jared. The two collided in what can only be described as a fluffy showdown. It was the weirdest fight of Jared's life, two men swinging pillows at each other like their lives depended on it. One would think it's hilarious, but trust me, it wasn't. After a series of poorly executed pillow swings that sent more feathers flying than anyone expected, Jared knocked the guy out cold. He looked down at the pillow in his hand. Wait, did I just win with a pillow? He looked around, and sure enough, the island had become a giant pillow fight. The only way to survive? Be the best pillow fighter. The first clue. As days went by, Jared noticed something strange. Some criminals had ridiculously large pillows. He thought it was a fashion statement at first, but then one evening, a guy named Fluff Master Flex gave him the lowdown. You want to know how to make that pillow grow? Fluff Master Flex asked, sipping some strange island concoction. Jared squinted. Sure, why not? Flex leaned in with an exaggerated whisper. You gotta take the stuffing. The pillow's not just for sleeping, man. You defeat someone, you take their pillow stuffing. That's how it gets bigger. Jared blinked. Stuffing? Like a pillow? The soft stuff? Is this some weird joke? Flex chuckled. Nah, it's all real. Bigger pillow, bigger reputation. You start collecting, and soon you're the boss of this island. Just remember, don't let anyone else catch wind of your pillow-growing game. It's a soft war out here. The funny encounter with a thief. One evening, Jared was walking through the island, his giant pillow now almost as big as a mattress, when he saw something strange. Someone trying to sneak up on an elderly criminal, attempting to steal the man's pillow. At first, Jared thought it was just another pillow fight, but then he noticed something odd. The thief didn't have a pillow at all. The thief, a scrawny man with a wild look in his eyes, had a sneaky smile plastered across his face as he tiptoed closer to the elderly man. Jared, amused, decided to intervene. Hey, what do you think you're doing? Jared called out. The thief froze, eyes widening as he looked up at Jared's massive pillow. What's with the pillow, man? The thief stammered, clearly thrown off by the sheer size of it. Jared raised an eyebrow and walked closer. That's my pillow. What are you doing trying to steal someone else's pillow? You gotta work for your own stuffing, buddy. The thief scratched his head nervously, shifting his eyes to the side as if trying to come up with an excuse. I was just gonna borrow it for a second, just to nap. Jared chuckled. Borrow it, huh? That's a pretty weak excuse for stealing someone's pillow. What's next? You gonna sneak into the guy's bunk and swipe his blanket too? The thief looked around nervously, then glanced down at Jared's giant pillow. I don't suppose you'd let me borrow some stuffing? You look like you've got a lot to spare. Jared laughed out loud, shaking his head. I don't think you understand how this works. You fight for your stuffing, man. You don't just steal it. Seeing the thief still hesitant, Jared decided to make the encounter even more ridiculous. All right, fine, he said, smirking. I'll let you off easy this time. But if you try to steal anyone else's pillow again, I'm stuffing your pants with my own pillow. The thief blinked in confusion. What? Yeah, you heard me, Jared grinned. Don't think I won't do it. I've got enough stuffing in this thing to fill up an entire mattress. Jared lifted the giant pillow over his head and gave the thief a mock-threatening look. The thief swallowed nervously, then scampered off into the bushes, leaving the elderly criminal behind, still blissfully unaware of the attempted theft. Jared shook his head and muttered, "Some people just don't learn."